up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the.
All right, ladies, mic check, mic check. It is day 2. If you can hear me, drop a 1 in the chat so I can make sure before I go in with this excitement that y'all can hear the kid. All right, Kaitley, you got me. All right, beautiful. Listen, y'all. Yesterday was so rich. That's the best word I can put for it, right? Yesterday was so rich, and it was living proof that currency is not the highest form of exchange. Energy is, right? Like, if people can't help you remember who the fuck you are, yeah, excuse me, okay, excuse those 4 letters, it changes everything, right? If we can remember, right, the little girl inside of us that dreamed really, really big before somebody told her she was too bossy, right? Before somebody told her that she should not get her dress dirty and come home with her hair messed up, because she was so ambitious and would jump off of things and wasn't afraid of anything, right? If we can only remember, right, and be poured into and told, you're not crazy. Like, you're right. Like, white supremacy does repress all of the brilliance inside of you. Then we can get into our businesses and do some things, right? And so yesterday, we were primed very, very well to receive a lot of knowledge. And then those of y'all that missed it, please go back and watch the replays. We then went into social recession strategy that actually taught us the importance of understanding your target audience, right? Of having omnipresence in the right places, right? And this new concept of like showing your expertise, right? Not necessarily education, right? Because what we learned was, when you're showing somebody how to do it themselves, you're just attracting a lot of other people who do the same thing that you do, right? But if you show them your expertise, you can actually command this whole following, this followership, this high earning, right, potential based on you doing it for folks. And then we went into finding money for your business. Felicia Gopal shut it down. She was all in our houses without permission. Okay, she was knocking on the door without being invited. But it was good. It was sobering. Edges were snatched, and we were very empowered, right? And so today we're going to continue on with that. Okay. So have your notepads ready. A lot of workshops today, a lot of gems being dropped. For those of you who have been wondering about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence and felt like you were at the back of the line and not understanding, we got sessions for that literally today, right? For those of you who have been trying to plan events, whether in person or virtually, and you just can't figure out how to make it work and really give you the long-term ROI for your business, we have a workshop for that. Yes, that is today. There's a workshop today called 3 Funnels for 6 Figures. 3 Funnels for 6 Figures. Yeah, there is that today. And there's so much more. And because this summit is anchored on surviving the recession, that's what bend but don't break means. It means you're going to have to change some things. You're going to have to move a different way as a CEO, but don't break, because we'll get to the other side. Because of that, we have to drop money talks every day. We have to, right? Like you run out of gas if you don't have money. So just know that we have another financial expert. I'm talking, and I mean this, right? So certified Black women financial advisors are few and far in between. There are only 18 that exist in the entire country of the United States today. Okay, we happen to have 2 in this summit pouring into you. So we have another one of those talks. Yeah, wow, yeah, it's that deep, right? We have another one pouring into you today. Super dope. And then so much more. Another DJ is coming, who's a different DJ from DJ TL. You'll see TL tomorrow, but today we have DJ Red Corvette in the house with us, who's been rocking with us since the inception of these summits. She's actually moved from the Bay Area to Brooklyn. So BK, stand up. She's going to be rocking with us. So a lot to cover in today. And I just want to remind you all about how your house works, because this is your house. Okay. This is your house. I promise you, no matter how far and wide you stretch, no matter how much you need, no matter how much you need to lean, no matter how many people you need to talk to, you will not burst the seams of this house. That's not what Blaze is, okay? This is your house, and you should take up all of the space in the world for these 5 days so that you get what you need, sis, and so that you move differently in the world. And so I'm going to tell you about the functionality, especially those of you who are new, based on being invited yesterday, based on seeing this streamed live on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and all the places, okay? So really quickly, there are 2 chats. The chat to the right of your screen, if you're on the laptop, come inside the club if you're on the mobile, okay? It's lit in here. The chat on the right of the screen is only seen inside of the session, okay? And that gets the most activities during the sessions, and there are gifts. Like literally, you don't have to just type words like a Hyra just put in the chat a kid waving, right? Like we can emote, right? You can put emojis on the screen. Some people just put some hearts, right? But that is one chat, and there's another big chat. It's on the inside of the laptop. It's called the feed, and that's the big chat, okay? So no matter where folks are, they can see it. So the booth vendors have been talking about some of the things that they're doing. Somebody's doing a happy hour tonight, I saw earlier. Grant talks, just so much rich stuff in the Buy Black market. We have polls that go on the feed, but this is your house. Now, some of you tried this yesterday and some of you have not. So I'm gonna say this. There's a lounge in the Blaze Virtual Summit that is open 24/7, literally 24 hours, 7 days a week until the summit until the summit ends, right? And we'll have to close it down, okay? But you can go into the lounge and sit at tables, right? And literally like just chop it up with folks, right? It could be midnight for some of you who actually want to have midnight sessions. That always happens during the summits. There was a squad last time that would do, Blaze Virtual Summit after dark, right? Like literally whatever you need, there is space for you. There's a people tab, okay? There's a people tab where you can click on anybody. You can search them. Literally anybody you've connected with in the chat, anybody you've connected with in the booths, anyone you've connected with in a different way, right? Like there's so much space to take up in here. You can literally search their name, right? Alexa says, Leslie's booth. She has a great story. Leslie's something else now. You hear me? And that's finance. So I agree. That's multi-generational wealth, I believe is the name of her booth. But search multi-generational, okay? I'm so happy you chopped it up with her, Alexis. That's super dope. So what was I saying? Oh, yes. In the people tab, if you search for people, you can not only DM them, which is dope, right? You can schedule meetings with them in the chat, right? Like literally you can hit the scheduler button and you can choose the time length. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 15 minutes, whatever. You choose a time of day and you send the request. And if they accept, your meeting will show up in the schedule tab, right? Like take up all of the space this week, okay? And then that brings me to the leaderboard. The more you do, the more points you get. We award 15 folks every single summit. And so let me check it out. I have not looked at it today, so this is going to be a surprise to me. Okay. All right. China, our girl China. We heard a good bit from her yesterday in the Q&A session. She was very, very engaged. She has actually come up to the #1 spot in the summit. #1 spot is still anybody's game. Okay, we got 4 full days left, but China is #1 right now. I love to see it. Dana has been in the top 2, okay, since day 1, start 0. She is still holding down spot #2. These ladies have 5,900 points and 5,320 points respectively. And then our girl, Alexis Miller. Now, we heard from Alexis yesterday, too, on the stage. She did a Q&A kind of response to a fellow marketing expert, social media marketing expert, to be specific. And she's the one that just dropped in the session chat the fact that Leslie's booth is incredible, right? So the more you engage, the more points you get. But guess what, right? We're incentivizing the behaviors that are important for you scaling as a CEO out in the streets. Like that's the whole purpose. And that is the why. That is why the more you talk, the more you DM, the more you engage, the more you sit at fellow founders tables in the Buy Black market, the more points you get and you get rewarded, because that's how it goes in the streets, right? There's not a person. Ask them. We partnered with 117 people for this summit for you. It's free for you. And 117, please believe me, 117 folks came together to make this happen for you. And there's not a person that has hit this stage that I do not meet with personally and talk to personally, because I care that much. As a CEO of Blaze, I care that much about protecting you and loving on you and pouring into you. From the vendors, they'll tell you, from the vendors to the speakers, to the DJs, to the meditation folks, whoever, right? And so you don't garner that many relationships, right, if you don't get the reps in on how to move and how to show up and how to ask questions, right? And then we have some other people in the tops. Okay, so I see y'all. Let me say y'all's name really quickly. Christina King, great job. Coach UM, great job. Amber Hurt, what's up? Wendy Quick, okay, Wendy. That's 7. Nicole Murphy, love to see it. Karen Moore, Dondra Butler, Ahira. We saw a lot of Ahira yesterday. She asked a lot of Q&As and came on stage. Yvonne is number 12. She's in the top 15 this time. Renee Moore, Nicole Player, love you, Nicole. And Crystal Perlin. All right, so dope. Those are the top 15. Top 15 get 15 prizes. Okay, top 3 get 1 year of a Podia Shaker Plan subscription that is launching your online business absolutely free, completely robust, equipped for downloads, courses, live virtual events, so many things, challenges, affiliate marketing. They set everything up, including the automatic payments to them as transactions come in. If they are affiliate marketers for your stuff, it's very robust, a value of $1,068, and they're giving that to you for free for a whole year, so that you can have time to start generating money without rush and scarcity. The next 2 people will get a signed author's copy of a book called Dear Sis, I Love You. Dear Sis, I Love You. That came out of an organization called Diversity Booth, headed by an incredible woman named Amber Booth McCoy. She's going to be here tomorrow, actually. I was one of the co-authors on that book, on that project, and she'll be here reading a passage. And I'll share a little something from my passage too, but it is, we wrote letters to women in our lives that we never got to say or write, but should have. And we encapsulated it in this book. Very, very, very powerful stuff and just very cleansing. So the next 2 will get signed author copies of that book. And then the next 10, so that's spots 11 through 15, okay? You will get complimentary access, membership in our Blaze Mastermind, which can be found on the table and on the Blaze Group app. We changed the name of our app on the Blaze Group app for 3 months, right? And that is like legit. Anybody in the mastermind can tell you, like, when y'all come to those meetings, there's a lot in there, but it's like ninja style stuff. This is not no DIY show you how to do stuff. It's stuff to show you how to be strategic, how to hire, how to get strategic relationships, how to land 6-figure deals, right? Based on a very refined strategy that can turn results in 3 months. You know, just a lot of stuff, okay? But that's it. I just want you to feel comfortable in your house, okay? If there are any questions, I usually do this. I haven't asked this yet in the summit, so I'm sorry. If there are any questions you have in general, drop them in the Q&A, okay? Drop it in the Q&A. In a couple minutes, I'll come back on and answer your question. So to get to the Q&A, that is inside of the chat side of your session. You'll see a Q&A icon. Drop questions, and I promise I'll answer them, because that's what this hour is for, getting you oriented, making sure that you can optimize this day, okay? And speaker freebies, okay, for those of y'all who did not go into the app yet and get them, because they've been there. Speaker freebies are live on the web as well, okay? So you can either go to the reception area and click speaker freebies. That is now in the reception for you, or you can go to blazevirtualsummit.com/freebies, FREEBIES. All right, y'all. We're going to roll the credits again, but any questions, just drop them in the Q&A, and I'll come back in a little while and answer whatever questions I might have. All right. Love y'all. Peace.
You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the
All right, ladies, we are at 20 T minus 25 minutes from the first session of the day. And I want to hear some reflections from yesterday. Okay. Anyone, okay, just hit the hand button. You're welcome to come on stage and share some of your reflections from yesterday. How did things make you feel? What were some of your biggest aha moments of the day? Right. Again, this summit is anchored on talking about the recession that's really here, regardless of whether politicians want to say it or not, because they're trying to win elections, right? The economy is in a downturn, and we're trying to give you some gems that you feel in your gut, right? Not just these survival tactics. So we would love to hear what you took away yesterday. Ahira, I see you. I'm bringing you up. And if this sparks any reflections or thoughts from any of the rest of you, just hit the hand button at the bottom of the screen and I'll bring you up. I promise. Okay, so we have Ahira first and then China. You're right after Ahira. Ahira, the mic is yours.
Grand Rising, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. First of all, Casey and the rest of your team, thank you so much for this. Again, I'm trying to recall how did I even come across the Blaze Virtual Summit, but something told me to register and sit in it. And right out the gate with LaWanda Swan, sister girl knocked me off the chair.
Yeah.
People were throwing shoes at her and holding church fans, and she
Yeah.
was speaking to a lot of us. And I know for me, it just gave me the strength to keep going, because it's just been very
Mm.
frustrating, with the business. And of course, nothing worth having it ever comes easy, but it renewed my strength. And more importantly, it just renewed my faith within me that I could actually do this. So I
Amen.
humbly, take my hairpiece off to you all and say thank you so much for this. I've even brought a couple of my girlfriends on the afternoon sessions, because I told them they needed this. I said, look, this is not for play. This is something we need, because it's not, there wasn't a time on this session yesterday where I felt any cliquish going on. I didn't
Yeah.
feel any, um,
Yeah.
cackling in the back per se. Everybody was just very, very supportive. And in these times that we're facing as women of color, we don't need to be sabotaging anybody else's grind and entrepreneurship, because just like LaWanda and a lot of the other ladies had spoke on the stage, we are essential. We are the component that makes the world go around.
That's
And
right.
I just appreciate it, because again, I don't everything happens for a reason. Everything, I don't believe in things happen for a reason. So thank you
That's
so
that.
much. Shay, to you too, my sister. And y'all keep doing this. Y'all really keep doing this. I'm a Gen Xer. So, the fact that I
Yeah.
see millennials and,
Yeah.
Gen Z's actually, picking up the mantle where we left off as Gen
That's
Xers
right.
and continuing to move it forward. I appreciate you guys, because sometimes we get a little tired and bogged down with
Of
life itself.
course.
But thank you so much, sister. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Hira. I thank you for every syllable that you articulated just now. We stand on your shoulders. We are because you were, right? And you continue to be. So, thank you to your entire generation and everyone that came before you for clearing the path to make it easier for us to walk. Because some things y'all couldn't do, right? So
Yeah,
thank you for every sacrifice. We appreciate it.
absolutely. We appreciate you too, sister. Keep up the good work, and let those haters continue to do what they do best, which is hate. You continue to shine and glow, sis.
Ashe. Thank you so
Ashe.
much.
Yep.
So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I am bringing up next to the stage China. China, you have the mic. I have to step to the side real quick, but you have the mic, okay? Share with everyone your reflections from yesterday, how you felt, what you took away, etc.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Just like Ahira, I don't know how I found the summit, but I would like to say that I would like to believe that the summit found me because it just popped up out of nowhere. And I'm just really thankful and so happy to be here. And I am a processor, right? That's what my husband likes to call me. I'm a processor. So there was so much information that I'm like, oh my goodness, like it was overload, but it was needed. It's so much information that I have to go back and watch the replays over and over again. And I'm so thankful that the replays will be here for me, to go back and look at my notes and add more to it. And I'm just really thankful. I would have to say that my favorite part was really all of it, but the booths after the sessions, it seemed like it was more intimate. This entire thing is intimate, but the
Yeah,
booths, I really enjoyed getting to know the other business owners and knowing that they were once where I am today.
that's
And
right.
it just showed me that it is possible. It almost like it ignited a fire under me to know like I
Mm.
I was standing in my own way. I've been procrastinating for so long and just saying, okay, I'll start the business later maybe it's
Mhm.
not time, but it's like I'm literally on fire now.
Yeah,
to do more, to do better, and just watching everybody, it just inspires me. And I've been bragging to my husband and my mom about everything that I've been learning, and I'm just really excited. So I just want to thank you, and just thank you for all that you're doing, and thank all of these beautiful women that I'm able to just learn from, and I just thank you guys so much.
We thank you. I feel your energy and your fire in your voice. And so I'm excited for you, sis, because that's all it takes. We just have to ask ourselves, who am I not to do this? So congratulations to you for everything that you're experiencing and showing up for. And I mean it when I say this. I love you, China. I appreciate
you. I love you. Thank you so much. I love you for all that you're doing. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Beautiful, beautiful, y'all. Okay, we're going to continue to bring folks up for their reflections. Up next is Alexis. And I hope y'all heard that nugget, right? She was so full from the session. She learned so much that she articulated it to her mama and her husband and her friends, right? And even still, there were spaces that were even more intimate, designed just for her, right? Where it's not for transferring. We are more than tools, okay? We are more than vessels for pouring out. Yes, that is important, and we are here for a purpose, right? But we have to feel joy in the land of the living. And I am so happy that China was able to go into these booths, right? Like I mentioned this yesterday, I'm gonna mention it again today because there's still time. Blaze has intentionally created an economy in and of itself. The black dollar, the dollar, not the black dollar, the dollar circulates in the black community for 6 hours today, right? Because we got to buy soap, right? And the people who've been around for the longest just don't look like us, right? Like, we gotta go to the doctor, right? And we don't always see people that look like us and go to the doctor. So it lasts for 6 hours before we have to exchange that currency for things that we need, right? And so, right, we wanted a free summer for y'all, people who want to get in front of you all, to give you the soap and to give you the coaching and to give you the grant writing, to give you the shirt and to give you the hat. I could go on, right? And so they purchased these vendor booths, which pays the speakers. Is deep now. And the speakers that we pay get to pour into you. And then you get to, I hope somebody got chills. And then you get to go to the vendor booths and buy what you need. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on, right? And so as you are looking at Blaze, I hope you see yourself in what we're doing. We are literally making it irrelevant to need gatekeepers. We are ensuring that it does not even matter whether they let us in at the table. It literally does not matter. And we're not even mad no more because energy is currency. Energy is a frequency, right? And so our rest is radical rebellion, right? Where we say we're good. Y'all keep going. Y'all keep going. Go and do what you do now. But I'm a rest because I got what I need over here, right? And the very things that we're doing are the very things that you can do. And that is why Blaze means building leaders and accepting zero excuses. Like, all we need to do is show you how to lead, bro, and we're good. Like, the rest takes care of itself. So thank you all for showing up for yourselves. Thank you all for going into the vendor booths, right? Because they literally have shown up to see you. And Alexis, I'm bringing you up, Mama. What are your reflections from day one? You have the mic. Uh-oh, you're on mute, Alexis. I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Anything?
Yeah, I hear you. You're good.
Oh, okay. First of all, thank you for this great opportunity. I always get really nervous to speak in front of people, and maybe I'll gain my courage to speak at the next one. I'll get there eventually, but I just wanted to really brag on the booths. I had so much fun and learned so much in the booths yesterday. I'm so sorry, her name escapes me, but the marketing midwife, I think,
Brittany Raji.
First of all, her personality, her ability to just kind of bring everybody, hold a conversation and kind of bring everybody into the conversation. Stunning, amazing. And then, of course, I already bragged on Leslie in the chat. the daughter of the first Black billionaire. Like, it's like blowing my mind. Like, oh my gosh, that story is amazing. She showed us a video of how her mom has kept his legacy going, ever since his passing. It's just amazing. There was a video on colorism. Like, the boots are so enriching, and I'm really, really happy about those this year. I was happy about them, last year, obviously, but this year, they've outdone themselves. So definitely take that as an opportunity to speak with and connect with other ladies in the business, and just pray for me that I get my speaking together so that I can do this in the next 6 months, because I'm do it, I think.
You got it, Mama. Listen, you're getting the reps in now, so it's already done. Thank you so much for unpacking your experiences yesterday. Like you gave a smell and a sound and a feel to it. So I appreciate you coloring your experiences like that. Thank you so much, Alexis. So good, y'all. So good. So there are 4 full days left. Okay. There is so much space for you to take what you need. You heard so much about the booth experiences, and I'll tell you, because I'm serious. I need y'all to feel how easy this truly is, right? It's just a decision away, right? The vendors today are standing on the shoulders of everyone that has come before, because they got reps in to learn how to optimize these virtual experiences and take it past the website, right? Last summer, literally, it was all about Web3. And we talked about how you humanize experiences no matter what country somebody is sitting in. And all of those experiences and all of those tips shared and all of those gems, right, that have been passed along, even the ones that came through me so I could tell other vendors, right? Like, this is how it's done, right? And you're going to do the same thing. You already are, right? So beautiful. Make sure that you continue to engage, continue to rack up your points, continue to go to the vendor booths. After we end each session, the vendor booths are open, and they literally tell you in the feed all of the things that they are doing. And please mark your calendars for this Friday. Please mark your calendars for this Friday. I'm going to say the third time. Please mark your calendars for this Friday. Disruption is happening. Okay. So many times we've gone to conferences who need money, right? And so they get money from corporations that don't give a damn about us, corporations that won't follow up with us intently to educate us on their tools and the importance of them, right? Corporate sponsors that don't bend enough to meet us where we are, right? And so we have actually started the 2023 Blaze Business Awards. Where we're actually going to put people who are out in the communities doing the Lord's work every single day, and we're putting them center stage in lieu of sponsors, okay? And we will award them. We will allow you to all year long see their websites, click on their link so that you actually see the personification of excellence in business and excellence in industries and excellence in digital readiness, right? And so we can stop saying, look at what Warren Buffett did, and we can say, look at what Vicky did, right? We can stop saying, like, I wonder how Mark Zuckerberg found the audacity to blah, blah, blah. We can say, look at what Bianca did with this. We are literally disrupting this notion that we need the Oscars to change their minds about including us. That we need, the Grammys to not exploit us for ratings. And, like, it's cool. Right. And so we're going to make sure that 365, you actually see the best in class of those who look like you, and we award them for it, and we give them platform for it. And the higher we go, the higher you go, because you're going to be on our stages, right? We're building stages for you. Y'all building tables. And so we got to build them stages, right? So show up on Friday. It's the first ever 2023 Blaze Business Awards. All right, I'm going to go and get out of the way. We are T-minus 9 minutes. So we'll finish this registration segment, and then we'll hop right into the very first session, which is building brand honesty. Yeah, this is from Taylor Burris. So get your edges ready for building brand honesty. All right.
see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the
add to the even more awesomeness that is to come. Hi, my name is Taylor Burris, and today I am here to talk to you about brand integrity. And I know that is a very loaded word, but before we start, I just want you guys to look at these 4 images and just take a moment, reflect on how they make you feel. Even if you don't know these influencers, even if you don't know these families, that's okay. Think about how they make you feel. For me, I feel loved. I feel welcomed. I feel like I'm a part of a community. But more importantly, I feel like I can trust these women. I see myself here. I see my aunties, my aunt, my cousins, my mom, my daughter. I feel like this is a brand I have to be a part of. I would just throw my money at them right now. Through this effective branding and brand authenticity, it is so powerful in order to leverage your sales and increase your sales goals and build the trusted community. So before we begin, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about who I am and how I started off as a negative disruptor in my industry and leveraged it to turn myself into a positive disruptor to increase my opportunities and sales. Today, I am Taylor Burris, the co-founder of the AI Hub, which is an art incubator that houses 4 equipped hubs, opportunities, and paid resources to artists and entrepreneurs in the Midwest. But when I was 22 years old, that's not who I was. I was heavy in the game in entrepreneurship, heavy in entertainment. I was a journalist. I was a production assistant. I was doing all these amazing things. I worked with Lotto, Spice, TC Carson, worked with all these very influential people with hard, solid brands. And I took notes. I soaked it in. It wasn't until somebody said, leverage your opportunity about who you meet and show up as you every single time, not only online, but in person, to increase your opportunities and to sell your services. So I had to think about it. I'm like, ooh, now who am I? Think about what I just said. Who am I? Put that to you. Who are you? So during this time, I was able to leverage these relationships, not by chance, but through consistency and through honest and open communication. But I made a mistake. I was managing people's brands accounts, making them look like how I wanted them to be seen, not specifically for their target audience, but how I thought they should be seen in order to be loved by a community. I had one client, really awesome guy, super talented. But I painted a brand picture of him as he was a very community service-oriented person that was really nice and kind. And not to say that he wasn't, but when clients met him in person, the idea that they had of him in their head was completely shattered. The person that they thought they knew online was not the person they met in front of them. And that led to failed deals. And that was my fault. I had to realize that being a negative disruption in your industry and not being a positive and open and honest about who you are and your brand can lead to plummeted sales. And then COVID hit. Going back to my story, COVID hit. I was with child. I had to move from Atlanta, Georgia because of a high-risk pregnancy. And I brought myself to the Midwest to get the care I deserved. Luckily, my partner, James, and I had the amazing opportunity to open the AI Hub, the business that we run together today. We were doing so much. We did all the right things, radio, billboard, PPC, social media, did all these things on paper that were right, even down to the press release. Came to our very first event, nobody showed up. And I was crushed. It did not make sense to me. Why is it that the tactics I had been using for years for my brand and for other people's brand worked so well, but all of a sudden it didn't work for me? But I had to think about it. I was trying to talk to an audience in a whole different state and bring that to the Midwest. That did not make sense. I was speaking to people who didn't know me. I myself didn't know me. I was not being honest with the new version of myself that I now was in this new state, in this new community. I didn't realize that I was not solving a problem here in the Midwest. I was solving a problem for those in Atlanta, but when I came here, I didn't even take the time to ask these people, what do you want to see from me? What issues do you have? So we had to pivot. We put our feet to the ground and we talked to people. We opened up our ears. We got on social media live. We said, hey guys, I'm having an issue. I have 3 brand colors, red, blue, yellow. Does this even make sense? Do you want to be here? Do you feel invited? And do you feel like you can trust me? It wasn't until my partner, James, said, people do business with people, not robots. It started to click in my head. Think about that again. People do business with people. People do business with people. That means you have to build relationships. You have to build trust. And you have to build authenticity so that people can even trust you to even lead to sales. As soon as we hard pivoted, in a matter of 8 months, we solidified contract with some of the top artist organizations that have been around for decades. We solidified contracts with the streetcar, with local artists, with nonprofit and for-profit businesses that we were able to leverage to increase our sales and our membership, but also increase paid opportunities for local artists and entrepreneurs. Everything began to make sense through consistency, through solving a problem, and through effective brand marketing. Now, let's go to a little example. I told you about being a negative disruptor. And now, right now, let's talk about being a positive disruptor. I want you to get out your pens and paper or get on your keypad. And I really want you to write this down and take this to heart. What does it mean to be a positive disruptor? Leveraging your unique niche in your industry to increase your sales to your target audience. It is so easy to get stuck in the copy and paste. You see someone else make a video, they got thousands of sales, thousands of views, thousands of followers, and you try to replicate that. But no, that does not work for you because that's not your business. That's not your target audience. That's not your niche. Think about what makes you special. Going back to the example, let's come up with a new example. If I'm an ice cream shop, right? It's summertime. I'm surrounded by 10 other ice cream shops. What's gonna make people sell for me? Is it my cost? Is it my value? Is it my customer service? Is it the way that I make you feel when you see my brand and you walk into my business? What makes me unique? So I'm gonna tell you a story. Part of it's true, part of it's not true. I'm gonna make up a little jingle along the way. So say you're driving down the highway. This situation did happen to me. Driving down a highway, it's rush hour. The truck in front of you, the tire plops off and begins to roll down the highway in your direction. First car swerves, miss it. Second car swerves, miss it. Me, I'm like, oh my goodness, everybody's swerving. I don't know what's about to happen. Thank God I moved out the way at the right time. Even though I was in the far left lane, I didn't hit anybody. Nobody hit me. The wheel missed me. All was well. All was amazing. But then suddenly, now this part, I'm gonna make up this jingle because this isn't the actual jingle they have, and hopefully they pay for me for this later. But a commercial comes on the radio and it says, we gotta start your day off right. But you almost got hit and you swerved off the road tonight. Call 411 PAIN to get your case settled. In that moment, I'm gonna think of 411 PAIN. Whenever my aunties or my cousin or my daughter gets into an accident, I'm gonna immediately say, use 411 PAIN. Every time I'm in the car, they come on the radio and they have these bops and it's my favorite song on the radio and it's a commercial. But I remembered it and it stuck in my head because I'm their target audience. And every time I see them, I'm in high traffic, high volume areas and something crazy happens. They're building a relationship with me and I didn't even know it. They're targeting me and I didn't even realize it. They are becoming a positive disruptor because they're leveraging their call to action. They're leveraging their ability to stand out from the rest of these companies because they have these jingles that are so catchy. And on top of that, they're consistent with their branding and their message every single time. I feel like I want to use 411 PAIN and I didn't even get into a car wreck. Ask yourself the right questions. Once again, what makes you and your brand special? And consistently show up and show that uniqueness every single time, whether it's in person or online. Next question, are you actually solving a problem? What are you solving? Figure that out and actually make sure that you're solving it in an effective way to your target audience. And lastly, are you effectively communicating using plain language, colors that your target audience that would like, language, accurate pictures, proper mediums? Should you use Facebook? Should you use radio? What should you use? Stay consistent. You got this. Now, Pinky Cole. If you don't know Pinky Cole is the owner of Slutty Vegan. Woo! I love Slutty Vegan. It's so good. Mind you, I think it was in 2016, Pinky Cole had a Jamaican American eatery, right? Awesome. We in New York, we in Harlem, we eating good. Burns down because of a grease fire. It happens. It really does happen more often than you think. She called that a business fail. In that moment, I no longer could trust that if I go online, I know her business is going to be there. If I go to her shop, I know her business is going to be there. No, everything in that moment is gone. Where is my trust in knowing that you're going to be there when I need you? 6 years later, Pinky Cole came back stronger than ever. So think about this. I'm from the DMV area. I didn't tell y'all that. I'm from the DMV area. Put in the chat if you're from the DMV. Shout out. I love my people. You're in the DMV area and you guys we're used to seeing food trucks all the time. If you go to the National Mall, lined up, food truck after food truck back to food truck. When I lived in Atlanta, I'm a Spelman graduate, Pinky Cole from the AUC. She went to Clark Atlanta University. Think about this. You go to her food truck, lines out the door. You're sitting there for hours through the rain, through the heat, through the snow. You're sitting there and you're sitting there and you're sitting there, because I was one of those people every single week. And you get to the front of the line and they say, I'm sorry, I'm out of burgers. I'm like, dang. But sure enough, I came back the next week and I came back the following week until I got a burger. So what made people come back? She found her niche. It was vegan eats, vibrancy within her brand, and provocative language. Oh my goodness. And she stayed consistent. When you meet Pinky in person, she's very vibrant, very lively. She is authentic with everything that she does. As far as I'm concerned, she is authentic. When you go into one of her locations, expect the same thing. She is consistent, vibrant colors, bopping music, everybody's having fun. You feel like you're a part of the community. She was building a community that trusted her. No matter what state that she pops up in, lines out the door, all of the time. Or I want to say in 2021 alone, she generated about 10 to 14 million dollars, while other businesses doing the same exact things were struggling and failing. 10 to 14 million dollars. She stayed true to her brand. She showed up, showed out every single time. And from somebody who went from a failed business to an incredible franchise, it's amazing. That is the power of positive brand integrity. Ask yourself tough questions. Do you need to pivot? Who do you want to be to yourself? Who do you want to be to others? Are you being honest and true, or are you copying someone else's model? Now, I'm going to bring these pictures back up because they're important. They're so important to us. Going back to how we make people feel. And y'all don't laugh about me, but can we all say, set it off? I know we all know the movie Set It Off. Mine's a little different, but type in the chat, set it off. C-C-E-T, it off. And I'm going to tell you what that means. The first two C's is consistent and clear. Have consistent and clear branding. Have an identity that makes sense, that you can show up for because it's true to you. It's authentic to who you are. The E stands for effective in targeting. Yes, when you start out, it's so easy to just throw out an image and throw out your brand and see who picks it up. Perfectly fine. But what you need to do is go back and look at your analytics. Who was that person who went to my website? Who was that person who put something in their cart, but they didn't buy? Clearly, I did something right in order for them to get to that phase in the process. So let me replicate that one thing that I did right in order to increase the customers coming back and increase sales, and figure out what I did wrong. So I need to pivot and change. Be effective. Be effective. Please put effective in the chat, guys. Effective. Whatever that looks like to you. You can even walk around with a QR code on your shirt. That's be you. You are your walking billboard. When people see you, they see your business. When people see your business, they see you. People do business with people. Now, let's go to the T. Be transparent in communication. Are you being transparent? Are you just putting something out? Oh, I got to put something out 3 times a day, every single day, because it's what I got to do to stay relevant. No, you don't have to do that. Be effective, be transparent. Say, hey guys, how can I get you guys involved in my brand? I know you want to see yourself in this brand. Why don't you come to me and I will put you on my brand so that you can see yourself. What do you care about? What do you love? What problems do you want me to fix for you? Because I can make it happen. I want you to trust me to come to you. So the big words that we went over today: set it off, brand integrity, be a positive disruption. Don't be a negative disruption. And if you remember what positive disruption is, great. If you don't, I have put it back on the screen for you. Leverage your unique niche in your industry to increase sales for your target audience. I believe in you. I trust you. You are my community. I love you. Now build, and bring that sense of community, love, and trust to your target audience. You got this. Thank you.
Okay. That was so good. And we have hands already raised. Okay. So I see y'all. I won't take it up. Taylor, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Hi. Oh, I love all that you have going on with the funk.
Yes, I'm in my building right now. This is my building, the AI Hub.
I love the AI Hub. Welcome. Okay, Taylor. Folks are ready. So let me bring the first person on stage as a reminder to those, especially if it's your first day. I can barely talk this evening for me. Make sure that you hit the hand button. Make sure you hit the hand button to come onto the stage, and you can ask your question live to Taylor. Make sure you use the Q&A function. That's a Q&A icon to type your question, and we'll show it on the screen. Okay. So, Ahira, you're the first one up. I am bringing you up, and feel free to ask your question to Taylor.
Hey, ladies. Hey, Taylor. Great job.
Thank
I so appreciate that. I definitely, it resonated with me regarding my brand. I have a question for you. When you spoke earlier in your presentation how you were working with clients in terms of how you saw them and not necessarily who they truly were.
Yes.
My question to you is, if you had to do it all over again, would you have still worked with those people who did not, present themselves in a manner that was workable or in a positive light? Looking back, would you have done it again?
So I have two answers to your question.
Okay.
So initially, when I was trying to represent these people in a certain light, I wasn't doing it because I was doing it because that's how I thought they should be represented, but also that's how they approached me, as in, I want to change my brand, I want to look like this, and that should have been a red flag to me. That should have been, oh, you're purposely deceiving people and making them think that you're something that you're not. That should have been my red flag. But I would do it again only because it helped me understand how I wanted to be represented and how I did not want to be represented. I had to realize what type of clients I did and did not want to work with. And in opening up my own brick and mortar and having our agency, I had to understand the power and the leverage that people have when accurately or, misinforming people about how they should be. So I would definitely do it again because I know how I want to show up and show out every single time to be authentic to my brand. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering my question. I appreciate it. All the best to you, sweetie. Good luck.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ahira. Beautiful answer, Taylor. I'm fangirling right now because I'm always a fan of the reps. I'm always telling people to get the reps, and the fact that your natural response is, I would do it again to learn what I needed to learn. Brilliant. I'll show on stage the next questions from Jordan Freeman. Thank you for your question, Jordan. She asks, any advice or tips for branding when you are aware that your brand's beliefs may be controversial? I love this one.
Okay, my first question, is it your brand that's controversial, or is it you that is controversial? And are you willing to live with that when people approach you? Because like I was saying earlier, when you show up, people see your business. Whenever Taylor Burris walks down the street, they see the AI Hub. They don't see me anymore. So are you willing to, I don't want to say consequences, but essentially, are you willing to deal with those consequences, and whether it's a positive way or a negative way? And also, are you well informed on both sides of whatever you're speaking on? Because people will ask questions, people will try to challenge you, but being informed is a powerful tool so that you can inform others if you are controversial in your branding. You know what I mean? Because people will, challenge you all the time. So just making sure that you have the proper knowledge and the know-how to inform and to answer back in a eloquent way so that you're still not messing up your future business in the process.
I love your answer, sis.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do, because I will say, especially, I'm gonna say especially for us, I think this is probably true across all races, etc. Like, it is fear that causes people to say my brand is for everyone, right? Like it is the fear of the pushback around, like, what about XYZ? What about XYZ? What XYZ? And you're telling them to arm themselves with data, like have a depth of knowledge that's so deep, you got a well to pull from. Brilliant. Okay, the next question is from Alexis Miller, and she says, I know that you spoke about niching down, but can you speak to how extremely important it is for business owners on social media, given the amount of competition there is online?
Okay. So I spoke about niching, but can you speak on how extremely important it is for business owners on social media, given the amount of competition there is? Social media is a powerful tool that can help or hurt your business. When I was solely relying on social media, nothing happened because I was solely relying on social media. I was not building relationships with people, authentic relationships with people. I wasn't meeting under other business owners, even my competitors. I wasn't shaking their hands, taking notes, like seeing what can I do better? What am I doing wrong? So social media is so powerful, but at one point, social media didn't exist. And you had to get out of your physical space. I know it's hard and you get comfortable. I love being here every day, but if I never leave these doors and I solely rely on social media, nothing will come of it. I wouldn't have a business right now because people want to know who I am. They want to know that they can trust me and get to know me. Now, when you're using your social media, it's always good to study what works and what doesn't work. You can continue to put out the same things every single time and only get those three likes every single day. Because in your head, it's like, oh, I did this, I was supposed to do that. But if it's not going anywhere because you're not changing, you're not studying your back-end algorithms, you're not working on your SEO, you're not using certain hashtags, staying up with what you need to do to elevate. And it's a full-time job. That is a lot. That is a lot. So when you're going through this process of using social media, just make sure you're on track. Make sure that you're using every single avenue, from your Google business profile to your backlinks to your metadata and your meta description. So there's more than just Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. There's a whole other network of resources out there that can help you push your brand to where you want it to be. But don't forget about meeting people where they are. I just printed out 15 flyers for my 1-year celebration this Saturday. I said, you know what? Social media ain't. I'm going to take these flyers. I'm going to put this in your face and say, here, you need to show up. So just don't forget about using all your different avenues and leveraging your relationships with people.
So good. And Yvonne said, congratulations, Taylor.
Thank you.
And y'all, now listen now. Because Taylor is dropping so many gems. I want to make sure y'all compartmentalize these in the right areas. Listen good now. Taylor did not say that the internet is irrelevant. Okay, between February and April of 2020, okay, the panorama that happened, 41% of Black-owned businesses failed. Why? Because they did not know how to use the internet. Like, I promise. I promise that's why. Like, they did not have an online checkout. They didn't have a website. Like, bro, like 41% failed, right? So, yes, Jay Brown said it. Do both, right? Like, you got to. I'm going to say this one last stat, so just so y'all know. Now, it's if you want to retire tomorrow, that's fine. It's your business. But 40% of all buyers in the United States are Gen Z and millennials. 40% of the buying power of the United States today, and we're only getting older, right? Please compartmentalize the right way now, unless unless that's your business strategy, okay? All right, I'm gonna bring up China real quick. China, you have the mic, mama.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi, China.
So I want to know about your mindset. For your acronym, Set It Off. So CCET, what was your mindset before you got to that point? Was it trial and error? How did you, was it like just you sat down with yourself and was like, okay, I need to figure out what really works for me and only me, and kind of not worrying about what everyone else is doing, knowing that what you have to offer matters. So was it trial and error? What was your mindset before coming up with your before Set It Off?
I had I think I mentioned to Casey at one point, I had a very naive mindset. I didn't know it all, because I know I don't know everything, but I was in the mindset is if I check all the boxes, this has to work. Okay. No, that's not. I spent thousands of dollars on billboards, radio advertisements, PPC ads, literally thousands of dollars went down the drain because I thought I knew what worked. And if I do what works, I'm going to be successful. And reality is, I'm a Black woman, a young Black woman who's moved to a whole new state, who knows nobody. And that was a reality check for me. Because I don't understand. I got all this stuff. Why are people so? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. So in my head, I had to trial and error and pivot in order for me to realize that success, first of all, looks different for everybody. And the success I'm able to bring to a TC Carson is not the success that's going to look the same for me. My success for me is I woke up this morning and I was able to pay my bills and people showed up to use the studio. I had to do baby steps. I had to do baby steps every single day and grow in that. So I had to change my mindset of, yes, I'm going to do this, and this going to work it off. Do I have to? No, I have to set it off. I have to one step at a time. I had to change my mindset. I have to pivot, and I have to learn to be vulnerable and to soak in knowledge from other people, to observe other people, to research other people and realize what does and does not work for them so that I can avoid some pitfalls so that I will fail, even if it is failing faster, but I will avoid some failures along the way because I'm able to learn, research, develop, and grow.
I love that. Thank you so much. And it really resonated with me because just like you, I moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Florida where I don't know anyone, but and so where I was kind of getting started there, now it's like, hey, I don't have any clientele here. I don't have anything here. And so thank you so much for that.
Yes. And all blessings to you, China, because I know it's not easy, but you will be amazing. You'll be successful and it will all work out as it should. I promise you that.
Thank you.
Ashe. Thank you, China. Appreciate you, Mama. All right, y'all. Taylor is incredible. The AI Hub. This is the founder and CEO of the AI Hub. Look her up. There are freebies from the speakers that have decided to give freebies. Taylor is one of them. So make sure you go to blazevirtualsummit.com/freebies. It's in the app. It was in the app for the longest. Okay. So definitely check out the app as well. Taylor, there's such a maturity in the way that you see the world. And we need you, sis. So keep going, keep growing, scale your team, make more mini Taylors because we need you. Okay.
Thank you.
Ashe. Thank you so much, sis. All right, y'all. We have so much left for the remainder of the day. This is only session one. So the next session we're going into is from Andrea Long, and it is called The Formula for Experience Design. The Formula for Experience Design. This is a workshop. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Hey everyone, my name is Andrea. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today, I'll be talking about the formula for experience design. A little bit of background on myself. So again, my name is Andrea. My pronouns are she, her, and I have worked across many different industries, including events, marketing, recruiting, and diversity. For all of the logos in the second and third row, you probably will recognize a few of them. So I've been in the tech industry for over 10 years, planning events for their marketing and recruiting teams. The top row of logos is actually a list of businesses that I own. So I also, while working in tech, was side hustling, building my own empire, if you will, and trying to achieve success on my own. And so I actually did leave tech successfully and have been running Firewood events full time since November. So we're just past our 6-month anniversary, which is really exciting. So my brand of businesses is all to help small business owners and corporations deliver for their clients, whether it's through events, whether it's through diversity and inclusion, or whether it's with gift boxes that contain all Black and Latinx owned products. So when you think about events, what comes to mind first? For me, what comes to mind is like a beautiful sit-down family style meal with some florals involved, maybe a webinar, something virtual with folks on camera and video and people talking to you. Maybe they have screen or slides, pardon me, like I do today. But what I really think about is how we can use events to stand out. How can we use event marketing to help our businesses differentiate from our competitors? And so oftentimes in the marketing space these days, and especially in this recessionary period that we're going through, a lot of times marketing is focused on the digital. It's focused on social media marketing. It's focused on SEO and SEM. But what I think we're failing to recognize, and what some of these larger corporations have figured out, is in-person and virtual events are a touch point that are just as, if not more productive than some of these digital and social channels that we're really focused on. And so today, I really want to talk about how you can use experience design to build memorable events that help you increase your prospects, your customers, and ultimately your bottom line. And so today, like I said, we'll be discussing the definition of experience design. So what is it? How does it apply to events? And then also, what is the formula for implementation? So if you're bought in, you're like, yes, experience design is what I need. This is how I'm going to grow my business. But you're questioning, okay, exactly, how do I do that? So we can talk about the formula and some different touch points that you can establish to build your business's event marketing. And so first, experience design, and sometimes we'll see this as XD. So experience design is intentionally designing unique and memorable experiences, such as events, that address the motivations of your key audience personas. So we'll break down this definition throughout our talk today, but the first thing I want to sort of talk about is intentionally designing. So this really means like we are being so thoughtful and so careful about every single moment of the event, no matter if it's in person or virtual. We're creating these unique and memorable experiences. So think about a time when perhaps you have gone to an event and you've seen a celebrity speaker, or you've seen a CEO that you really admire, or somebody on the stage that you're like, wow, this was amazing. Like, you still remember that event, right? It really stuck with you. Also, maybe there was an event that you went to that they had headshots offered. So whether that was in person or, I've done events with virtual headshots as well. And maybe you still use that headshot today. Do you remember the name of the company that hosted that for you? Probably yes, right? And so another way to create these unique and memorable experiences is tying it to something that somebody needs. And finally, have you ever been to a conference that ended in like the most epic party, right? And so maybe there was a famous DJ, maybe they had the best light show you've ever seen, maybe it was the closest you've ever been to this musician, but it was just like so epic, you can't forget it. Again, do you remember the brand that hosted that conference that got you to be in that room? And oftentimes the answer is yes, if it was memorable in either a very positive or a very negative way, but let's hope for positive today, right? And so all of that to say, the goal of this event experience design for events is to create emotions and memories. Those emotions and memories keep attendees bonded to the brand or the product. And so our goal, we want to create these memories and emotions to then establish the bonds with the product or the brand. And then that goes to building our brand awareness and our customer loyalty. And what does that mean? That means we're going to generate leads and revenue. And in summary, this means more money, right? And so we definitely want to go down this ladder and through all these steps. But at the end of the day, we're trying to grow our businesses. We're trying to create generational wealth. And so it's important that we are taking all the steps necessary to get there. So again, emotions and memories, we're establishing bonds, we're building the brand awareness and loyalty, and finally generating leads and revenue. And so in terms of how to implement this, this is when we get into the nitty gritty, we get into the details. And I've really broken this out into 3 sections. The first is study your audience. So who are you speaking to? Who are you trying to acquire? How do your customers identify? How do your prospects identify? What differentiates them? What makes them similar? So really drilling down into who your audience is and really studying that. From there, we're going to then map the journey. So what is the journey from awareness to attending an event and hearing from you afterwards with a feedback survey and some post-event comms? What happens at each touch point in between for the audience? How does that journey how does it differ, depending on who the audience is? And so we want to make sure that we're thinking about each different piece of their journey and how we can make it the most memorable, again, playing on those emotions to create those bonds. And finally, we're going to design some wow moments, okay? So this is like when you see someone who attended an event online and you see them on social media and you're like, damn, I wish I was there. Like, these are the wow moments, the parts of the event where people are going to share it with their friends. They're going to post it on social media. They're going to write a blog about their experience. They're maybe even going to try to steal the idea for themselves. So thinking about the wow moments, those are the parts of the event that really, really stick with the attendee and with your audience. And so first, we want to get into the know your audience section. So we're going to look at some audience data. And so a first question is, who are they? What are their goals? What motivates them or frustrates them? What do they care about? And what are their psychological, cognitive, emotional, social, and environmental requirements? And so this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many questions that you could ask to get to know your audience, but this is a good place to get started, right? And so, pardon me, so we want to see who they are. And so first we can ask questions like, what is their age? What is their gender? Excuse me, what is their ethnicity? Maybe their LGBTQ plus status. Are they married or single? Maybe even divorced or separated? Are they parents with children? Are they caretakers of elderly parents? Are they just taking care of themselves? Where are they located? Are they in the US, outside of the US? Maybe they are all in one state or all in one physical metropolitan area. Dietary restrictions, are they meat eaters? Are they vegetarians, vegans, etc.? And so really thinking about the demographics of your audience. And so let's say that we have polled the audience, we've taken all of the data that we can, and we've learned that our audience has a lot of parents. So how do we use this in the experience design of our events? So we think about childcare. So maybe it's an in-person event and we have a room where folks can drop their children off and be watched by a licensed babysitter. Or it's a virtual event where there's a breakout room and we allow people to sign in twice, and the breakout room has a teacher or a magician or some sort of entertainment. So their child can be sort of on the side in a breakout room being entertained while the parent is participating in the event. Maybe we polled the crowd and they're younger. They're all under the age of 25, maybe 18 to 25 is your target demographic. Then we're thinking about how to use technology a little bit more to engage this audience, whether it's an event app, maybe it's a social media integration, maybe it's a custom overlay on Instagram or Snapchat. So thinking about how to engage folks based on their use of technology, essentially. If your audience is spread across the US, maybe we want to do a digital event instead of an in-person event. So this is something that now post-COVID or kind of post, we have more access to digital event tools, things that can do polling questions and surveys and have chat messages and obviously video chats like Zoom. And there's so many new and thriving digital event businesses that we can tap into, knowing that our audience is spread out. Excuse me. And then maybe they're mostly vegetarian. And so if you're planning an in-person event, maybe thinking about having your menu be veggie forward. So meaning instead of picking the meat items first and then leaving the vegetarians and vegans sort of secondary, picking the vegetarian items first and then saying, if you want, you can add meat to this item. It's a small thing that would make someone feel really welcome in the space, really included. And again, it sort of boosts those emotions and those memories that we're trying to get to create those bonds. And so the second question we had there was goals. What are our audience's goals? So here are some examples of things that you might discover. So they might be interested in learning something new. They might be interested in gaining exclusive access. So this could be to a person, to a product, to a thing. Maybe they're going to be early testers of your product. Perhaps they want to build community, and that's why they're reaching out. That's why they want to attend the event. Sometimes we just want to feel special, and that's cool too. So I think this one's a pretty wide-reaching one for most audiences. How can we make them feel special, and how can we help them have fun? So again, some examples here. So if your audience is looking to learn something new, maybe the format of the event is a masterclass or a webinar, something where you're bringing in an expert in the field, or you yourself are the expert if your business is service-based, right? And you're coming in and teaching them something. And so the content of the event is very focused on that educational piece. Perhaps their goals are to gain exclusive access. And so this is where bringing in a special guest, a celebrity, a famous speaker, someone where they wouldn't usually have access to these people on the street, for example, and you can be the connector. You can help them gain that access that they're looking to have. Build community. So if that's their goal, perhaps we think about even connecting with them post or pre-event through a group chat in Slack. I know that I am still a member of a number of group chats in Slack and WhatsApp from events that I've attended. And when they're industry events, you know, I still reach out to them and I say, hey, do you have a vendor who does XYZ? Or, hey, is anyone else attending this? And it really does continue that community. I swear to you, I'm still in groups from 2, 3, 4 years ago, and I still feel so connected to them. So thinking about building community, not just at the event, but before and after. Feeling special, maybe sending a personalized gift or having personalized gift bags at your event if it's in person, or sending them to their house if it's virtual, something to make them feel like you thought of them specifically and as an individual. And then have fun. If that is their goal, think about the entertainment. So, you know, there were a lot of events once digital and virtual events exploded. A lot of events were just a talking head. It was just one person talking to the audience, reading some really boring slides, and that was it. And so we really need to get creative. We need to think about how to bring entertainment into the virtual world in a way that we have in in-person events. So maybe there's a dance party in the middle. Maybe there's a DJ that plays during the transition times between sessions. Maybe we're having sound meditation or breathing exercises to kick off the event. So really thinking about how we can add some variety and entertainment so that folks have fun. And obviously these are just a few examples. So we can talk about examples all day, every day. I love it. Throw some in the chat if you have them as well. We also had a question about motivators and frustration points, also known as pain points. So these are the behaviors of the audience members that we want to identify in regards to what motivates them to take action, to purchase, or engage with the brand, or what prevents them from doing those things, right? And so we can think about your product experience. If you've maybe had an experience, let's say you went to get tech support, you either called or you went in person, you had a terrible experience and you said, this is a frustration, I am never buying XYZ product again, right? That would be on your list of frustrations if we were doing an audience persona on you. And so versus if you have maybe a great customer service experience, that would be on your list of motivators. And so really thinking deeply about what the shared motivators and frustrations are for the audience. And so, for example, maybe someone is motivated to make a purchase if the business is owned by a Black woman. Being a Black woman myself, this is something I relate to. And so oftentimes when I'm looking for products and services, I'm really looking for who the founder is, because I want to use my money wisely and strategically and intentionally. And so perhaps you haven't added a photo or a description of yourself in your marketing or on your website, right? You want to be sort of anonymous, which is cute, but maybe you're missing out on the audience that is motivated by knowing who the founder is and what their identity is. And then another example is a frustration. So maybe I'm frustrated by companies that produce environmental waste. I'm really conscious about sustainability, the environment, etc. And so something that I want to think about is ensuring that the gift boxes that I use don't have any plastics and have all compostable materials. So this is a really close to home example, because my gift box business, again, we make sure that we use all compostable materials because we don't want to contribute more waste. So exactly what we were thinking about with our audience was those who are frustrated by the overuse of single-use plastics. And so again, these are so custom to the type of business that you have, whether it's service-based, product-based, maybe it's digital, it's physical, etc. Like, customize these motivations and frustrations to your business type. And then next, we'll get into psychological. So the psychological requirements, we need to understand an attendee's personality, maybe their role in their house or at work, their status, their public status perhaps, and their image that they're trying to maintain or maybe even reach. And so with this, we want to think about how our attendees want to be perceived by their peers or their colleagues at an event, and how does our event design enable this? If they want to be perceived as an expert, do we give the audience a chance to vocalize their ideas and opinions? Like, if they want to be perceived as a collaborator, are there any points of collaboration in the event that we're hosting? Maybe they want to be perceived as an early adopter, right? Have you perhaps sent them the products that you sell ahead of time so that they can start posting about it? So when they attend the event, they're like, oh, I've been using this for months. So thinking through these different options here as it relates to their personality, role, status, and image. Then we think of cognitive requirements. And so this involves understanding how the psychological aspects influence an attendee's expectations, motivations, and memories of previous events. So what are the attendees' previous positive or negative memories and expectations at events? Maybe they, excuse me, attended an event and they really hated that their name was misspelled at registration. How can we think about these potential pitfalls ahead of time and make sure all the names are spelled correctly? How can we build and enhance a positive experience and resolve the negative experiences that they had at our event so that they don't hold this past against us? Now we get into emotional requirements. So this involves understanding how all of these other factors, including the cognitive and the previous examples, how these shape the attendees' emotional needs. And when we think of emotional needs, we're thinking of every emotion: happiness, stress, anxiety, euphoria, sadness, fear, like every high and every low. Again, we're thinking here about how we can design our event to enhance the positive moments, to have more of these desirable moments and minimize the ones that lead to these negative emotions. So we, again, are trying to sort of preemptively anticipate how someone might react positively or negatively, mitigate against those negative experiences, and boost and increase and enhance the positive ones. Now we have our social requirements. And so this, we want to understand how our attendees are affected by other attendees and how one attendee can affect the group. And so we're thinking about here the relationship that attendees have with one another. What relationship do they want with one another, and how it relates to those psychological, cognitive, and emotional factors. And so we want to enable opportunities for interaction that are going to enhance, develop, increase in a positive way these relationships, and again, mitigate against the negative or the unwanted relationships in the social environment. And finally, we have the environmental requirements. And so this is thinking about the physical space and what like physical requirements do we have of the event. So we're thinking about how we can basically build an environment, a physical space that is conducive to meeting all of the other outcomes that we talked about. This can also relate to virtual. So for example, if we're on Zoom, are we in a Zoom webinar or are we in a Zoom meeting? If we are wanting to build connection, then maybe being in a meeting format where everybody can see each other's videos is really helpful. But if we are trying to increase the learning element and not feel pressure from other attendees, maybe that's a concern of folks, then maybe we would do a webinar so that people don't see each other. They don't have to feel judged about, oh man, I can't attend this webinar because, you know, I don't want so-and-so to know that I don't know this thing, this skill that I say that I do. So maybe we have a videos off webinar in order to sort of protect anonymity there. And so these are a ton of questions. I threw a bunch at you. And basically the goal of all of this attendee data is to build your audience personas. And so this is just kind of a random example. You're not meant to read the words. That's why it's really small. So don't worry about squinting at the screen. But what I wanted to show you here is what an audience persona could look like. So typically they have a face. And so when in marketing, when we're building audience personas, we're literally like picking a person. We're giving them a name, we're giving them an age, we're selecting their demographics. And so maybe we are building out 3 personas. Maybe one of them is a parent, one of them is single, and one of them is married without kids. Maybe one of them is in California, one's in New York, and one is in small town Iowa. Maybe their behavioral identifiers then speak to their locations. Maybe the person in Iowa is really motivated by digital inclusion and group and community efforts versus the folks who are in big cities are really motivated by conferences and events they can attend since they have more access. So again, these are examples, but I think it's really helpful to see sort of what the end goal looks like for an audience persona. So again, you want to have a name, an image, an age, a location, the industry that they work in. Oftentimes you'll have personality traits on a scale. So you can have someone being a little bit more extroverted, a little bit more introverted, or somewhere in the middle. Maybe someone is a little bit more creative, a little bit more analytical, or somewhere in the middle. Maybe they're really loyal or really motivated by money or what have you. So putting in their personality and then putting in their goals, frustrations, and motivations like we talked about previously. And then also oftentimes you'll see brands on customer personas. So thinking through what are some brands that this person has an affinity towards? You know, I don't like to name drop and promote different brands, but let's just say you're into really clean design. And so this person really likes Apple, or you are into like a more friendly, inviting approach that has sustainability built in mind. So you think about Lyft's electric bikes, or, you know, there's different ways to think about the brands that people are motivated by. But again, having them be sort of with your industry and without, or within your industry and outside of your industry is also very helpful. So you can see different trends and commonalities between them. Okay, so next, we know our audience now. Now we are going to map the journey. And so what does that mean? So journey mapping is basically taking us through every touch point that an attendee will have related to an event. So it starts at awareness. Awareness could be everything from receiving an email invitation to this event. It could be seeing your post on LinkedIn talking about this event. It could be somebody else tagging you in a post on LinkedIn saying, hey, check this out. So awareness is really like the first or the first few times that someone learns about the brand, the event, etc. Then typically we get from awareness and then we get to action and someone registers. So we want to think about what that registration process is. Are we asking for name and email only? Do we want to use this to get some audience data? So maybe we're asking for age, location. Maybe we're asking for industry. We're asking for title and company name. What do you want to get out of this registration? Registration forms, I think, are the most useful and the most forgotten tool because it's free data. And so while we want to be mindful of the experience and not require too much, we also do want to use this time to get the data that we can use to build the best event for our audience. And so keep in mind, registration is a very important part of the journey. From registration, we're thinking about any sort of communications that are sent to them ahead of time. So there's emails, sometimes I sign up for those emails where people are providing services like how to make $1 million in a week or something, right? And I get an email every 12 hours, right? And I'm over it and I unsubscribe. But sometimes I get really strategic emails before events and it tells me what I need to wear and what I need to bring and what the agenda is. And it's like logistics focused and it doesn't feel spammy. Those are the emails that I like, right? So again, we're thinking about the comms touch points. And then at the event, we're thinking about presentations. Maybe if there's multiple different speakers, we're seeing how many attendees stayed for each one, whether virtual or in person. If there's different breakout rooms and maybe they're based on different themes, we're seeing who chose which room and how many. So thinking through the presentations and then networking. Again, if there's an opportunity to network either digitally or live, whether it's in the chat, whether it's in Slack or WhatsApp, a different group, maybe it's an in-person networking time, thinking about the experience. Are we providing any sort of icebreakers? Are we asking any sort of questions? Are we color coordinating name tags so that people know if you're wearing a green name tag, you work in sustainability and I want to talk to you? Thinking strategically through the networking experience as part of the attendees' journey. And finally, post-event. So we're thinking about the survey and post-event communications. Again, trying to anticipate any challenges that people might have, any questions that they might have. We want to get ahead of them and be able to provide all of these things without them asking. So we know one of the most common questions we get on virtual events are, is this going to be recorded? Is it going to be sent out? Right? And so let's anticipate that and include it in all of our comms. Say it at the top of the event. Put it in writing in the chat. All of these things so that folks don't even have to ask the question, you already thought about them. So some other considerations while we're journey mapping are the 5 senses. So see, hear, touch, smell, taste. As we are planning the event and planning each touch point on the journey, consider how we can incorporate the 5 senses. Again, it gets a little bit more challenging when you're virtual, but it is absolutely still possible. So when we're thinking about seeing, we're thinking about visually, what are they seeing? Is there a variety of things and people that they're seeing? Is it just one image the whole time? What are they hearing? Is it one voice, many voices? Is there music? Like what types of things are they hearing? Is there anything they can touch? Maybe there's, you ask for them to grab a piece of paper off their desk, or if they're in person, maybe there's a folder that they have access to. Smell, again, virtually kind of challenging, but maybe you send them a gift box ahead of time and there's a candle and you ask everybody to light it. Or taste, maybe in that gift box, there's barbecue sauce that is local to the city that you were from and you're hosting the event in, and you want everyone to take a taste so they can feel like they are where you're from. There's ways to get creative about this, but the memorable experiences are when you can evoke all 5 senses. So it's really important to keep these things in mind. Additionally, you want to consider the 4 types of learners. Again, we're talking about the journey mapping, and so we want to be really considerate of the different learning types that we'll have in the audience, so that while we're building the agenda, while we're building the different touch points upon the journey, we can make sure to engage everybody and sort of meet them where they are. And so learning types. So we think about these 4. So first we have visual. So this is someone who learns by seeing. People who learn by seeing like a lot of pictures. They like a lot of charts, a lot of graphics, maybe even slideshows and having lots of decks. So having something they can look at to learn. The auditory learners, these are people who learn by hearing. So for this type of learning, we want to definitely include verbal instructions. Maybe there's a point of the event where we go into breakouts or we turn to the person next to us and you repeat what you learned to a friend. Maybe this is where we have group discussions, right? So learn by hearing so they can have many different touch points to hear. People who learn by reading and writing. This is when maybe you want to send a book list. Folks who want to do some reading ahead of the event or after the event to dive in deeper. We want to have note takers or encourage people to take their own notes. Maybe you have notepads for them. Worksheets, you can send out a worksheet ahead of time so that people can fill in the worksheet while they're on a virtual event. And learn by doing. So these are our kinesthetic learners. This is where we want to incorporate body movements. We want to think about our tactile learners, people who need to have their hands on, sort of touch and feel experiences to really fully absorb the information. And so now that we have learned our audience, we have mapped the journey. So we've established the different touch points for our audience. We also want to add in the wow moments. So let's talk about how to design these wow moments. Okay, so first there's a concept called surprise and delight. And so surprise and delight is really, I mean, it's pretty literal. It's like you want to give your audience something that surprises them, something that they weren't expecting, and it'll put a smile on their face. So an example here is sending a care package to a either current or potential customer. If you know, for example, that they're with child or having a kid soon, they're pregnant, you could send them a onesie with your company name on it and a little care package. Maybe you know that they are going to be pregnant at your physical event. You have this care package for them. Maybe they are breastfeeding and you make sure in their welcome materials to tell them where the room to breastfeed is. So something that really surprises them, makes them feel special, makes them feel like you thought about them in a way that they hadn't even considered, right? And so the studies show that 94% of customers who received a special gift or recognition from a company felt more positive about the company. So 94%, this is pretty much a flawless method. And so you can think about other things like if you want to send like a surprise and delight, like a free coupon, maybe you sell jewelry and it's like free ring with your purchase. Something just to make people feel good is going to help them feel better about your company. And then of those 94%, 34% of those customers said that the experience of receiving that surprise gift or special recognition led the company to more business. And so again, this is saying about a third of those people who you're going to surprise and delight are going to make a purchase. If not multiple purchases, they're going to spread the word. And so again, really simple, easy ways that you can help increase your business. Another example is customization. So this is so clutch, right? Like people want things that they can make their own. And so an example of how this might look. So I went to ComplexCon, which is a conference that Complex puts on every year in LA. And Nike had this huge sort of event experiential booth. And what they allowed you to do was customize your shoes. So it's on brand, it promotes their product, and it hits the point of customization. And so folks could leave having a custom pair of Nikes, and I'm damn sure they think about that experience every time they wear those shoes and every time they get a compliment, right? So how can we think about something like that? How can you use the service or product that you're offering and provide a custom option for your audience? Also personalization. So in this example, you're seeing, maybe we're giving notebooks to everybody, but we're making sure that they get the notebook with their first letter of their first name on the notebook, right? And so something that feels like we were thinking about them as an individual. And so we see that 77% of consumers are choosing, recommending, and paying more for a brand that provides a personalized service or experience. And so again, this is like, you can already take what you're doing and add this element of personalization as an add-on to your business and increase your business by 77%, essentially. Whether those are 77% are actually purchasing it or recommending it to someone else, they're willing to pay more for that product or that service to be customized. And so in conclusion, I like to think about the key to success is providing a unique and memorable experience where everyone feels like they belong no matter how they identify. And so today we talked about knowing your audience, mapping their journey, and building those wow moments, all to really tap into event marketing to build your business, tap into your audience to increase the lead generation, to increase your revenue through moments of personalization, customization, and surprise and delight. And so I just want to say thank you. Again, my name is Andrea Long. If you're looking for diversity consulting experience, I can help you at andrealong.co. And if you're looking for an event planner to come and bring all of these ideas to life for your brand, you can reach out to Firewood Events. So again, thanks for having me, and I hope you have a good rest of the summit.
So amazing. Andrea, you were just backstage and it flipped off. Let me see if I can pull you up. Okay, I see you again. I'm bringing you on, mama. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can.
Hi. That was so rich, sis. So rich. And I have to ask, is your co-founder on the Asayo side, Kelly Nayo?
Yep, we're cousins actually.
What? I love me some Kelly.
Yes.
Okay. Good people. Okay. Dope. I'm not going to take any of your time, sis, because folks have a lot of questions and we want to get to all of them. Okay. But so rich, so detailed, and so needed for us. I'm going to show the first question on the stage, and Alexis, get ready to maybe raise your hand if Andrea wants more context. So Alexis asks, from an attendee point of view, is there a way to spot or find events that have used experience design services?
So yeah, I mean, I would love more context if you are able to come on screen. I have some initial thoughts, but if you're here, would love that.
Okay.
Here, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so this is actually a really huge pain point for me because, obviously we have to go to a lot of events as a CEO and entrepreneurs. And oftentimes, like I use like Eventbrite to find events. And then I go to these events and it's like, I'm not sure this is for me or it was meant for me. Or there will be times where, I'll go like to tech events and they have a DJ and the music is playing so loud that I can't get my bearings. I can't talk to anybody. I can't make connections. So is there any way to determine if an event has done this type of work so that I'm not wasting my time? I'm already like super introverted. I didn't want to go in the first place, but now I've talked myself into going. I want to make sure that I'm going and I'm actually walking away with connections that are going to move my business forward.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So initially, I would say probably not, but I think that there are some ways that I would go about it. So like, first of all, I would look at the invitation and see like, how detailed is it? Like, how much information are they giving? Is there someone that I could reach out to? I would maybe reach out to the organizer and say, hey, here are my goals. Like, here's what I'm looking for. I just want to check in. Like, is this that type of event or is this not? And maybe ask some questions. I think that trying to spot an event that has like been well designed and has, experience designed in mind might be a little bit challenging, but thinking through, even if you do register for the event, like, are you getting communications ahead of time or is it crickets? Like things like that might signal to me someone who has been more thoughtful in their planning. Do you get a frequently asked questions document before the event or not? Like, do you get the link ahead of time if it's virtual, or like, are you waiting until an hour before to know where the location is? Like little things like that would signal to me that they have a planner who's really being mindful of things. But frankly, I would just reach out, especially if you don't want to waste your time. Reach out and ask them, is there going to be a networking portion? Is the music going to be low enough where I can have a conversation, or is this more of a party?
I love it. Thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more time. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. And I hope you see this, Andrea. The chat is blowing up. Like, you are getting so many standing ovations and wows. And so please soak this in. I agree. Like, you killed that. You
Thank you, everyone. I know it was like a lot of information, a lot of content, but you know, I think it's so important because these are things we don't necessarily talk about and necessarily think about. So I tried to put as much as I could in there. So definitely watch
it. Listen, you did that. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up on the side about these in-person pilgrimages we're gonna start doing.
Yes.
You got it, sis. You got it. Okay, so this one is from Crystal Pollen, and she asks, in studying your audience, how do you get to the level of detail, so psychological, demographic, etc., suitable to build an audience persona?
Yeah. So this is a great question. So there's a few ways to go about this. And again, my background is in marketing. So I often think about like how marketers and how marketing teams will do this and how we can translate that into us as small business owners. So first, like I said, if you are planning an event, use that registration data. It's highly missed. People overlook it all the time, but like it's a place where people have to fill it out, right? And so you're going to get some information there. A lot of surveys are helpful. So if you do one of those like, hey, fill this out and be entered in a raffle to win $100 type surveys, you can get some important questions answered there. Or even if maybe you have a product and it's like, you get 10% off, 15% off for filling out this survey. Surveying data is really important. And then also, you know, look at the trends of your audiences. So maybe let's say you send out a newsletter, and in that newsletter, there's maybe 3 CTAs. There's 3 areas where you can click. Look at the data to say which ones are people clicking. Like that will show which one they were motivated by. So you can get really creative with, depending on what your business is and how you communicate with folks. I think there's like different approaches to collecting data. There's not one size fits all kind of approach. So definitely use different data points or different sources of the data is what I would say.
Arshay, so good. Look now, Andrea, you had like our marketing manager isn't here in the comments going off. I love that y'all see it too. Our rising creative director, yes, sis, you're gonna get some business from all of us, okay?
I'm ready. We're ready for you.
We appreciate you. So this one is coming from Dr. Denise, and she asks, is there a checklist available for the demographics and behavioral identifiers for our audience that you shared from your presentation?
You know, I haven't seen a thorough checklist, so maybe Firewood Events will make one. But I will say some resources that I use a lot that I could recommend, like HubSpot usually has a lot of really good blogs and a lot of really good resources. So I might check to see if they have one there. What other, like Splash That is a virtual event platform similar to AirMeet, where you know, they're more on the registration side actually, but they have a really intense a detailed blog, and so Splash That might have some good resources, but I haven't seen honestly one comprehensive checklist that I could recommend right now.
Thanks, Andrea, and those are good recs for peers in the market. And then this one is from a fellow experience designer, I would say. So Rakita asks, as a facilitator of experiences but not an event planner, how do you recommend that I create audience personas?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, are you here? Could I ask you a follow-up question? Because it definitely depends on what kind of experiences you're planning, perhaps.
Gotcha. Rakita, I'm gonna try to put you on the stage. I don't know if you're on your mobile or not, but I'll try to bring you up. I just hit the invite button.
If not, no worries. So I'm definitely putting you on the spot.
Oh no, she's good. She's good. She's built for this. It says that she's setting up her mic and stuff now. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
I still can't see you yet, Rakita, but if you're coming, I did get a notification that you're setting up your mic. Okay, there she is.
Okay, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Cool beans. I love this session. This session was everything to me. Like, I feel like Casey had me in mind when she saw you. She was like, this is for Rakita.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. The social experience is designed to connect teams, groups, through reflection, conversation, and commonality. So I would work with an event planner within like a conference space to facilitate the networking for the group with customized prompts, the music, all of the things, or also with a group like during a retreat or on board and to connect teams through those bonding sessions. So that's how I
Mm.
facilitate these experiences, but I'm not exactly the event planner.
Understood. Okay, cool. Thank you for that clarification. So I think things that come to mind for me are doing user surveys, or like what are they called? Like I forget the proper name for them, but when I started my swag business, I basically reached out to a whole bunch of people who I thought could be my audience, and I interviewed them. And I said, you know, when do you make a purchase decision? Like, how do you decide who to purchase with? Like, what are your budgets typically? How much lead time do you have? Like, asking all these really rich questions. And thankfully I have a network that was like willing to spend 15 minutes with me, and I didn't have to pay them. But sometimes I've done those as a user, and people pay me like $30, $50 for an hour. And so being able to like reach out to the people who are your intended purchasers to ask these questions might be your best bet, since you're not necessarily having direct communication or direct messaging with the attendees, since you're not the event planner. So that's what comes to mind initially for me.
All right. Thank you very much. That was very helpful.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Rakita. Appreciate you, Mama. All right, so good, so good. I'm gonna keep rolling. Let me watch the time. Okay, we do have a few more minutes. Great questions. So many too. Okay, this is a diverse one actually. So this one is from China, and she asks, if my business caters to the youth and they are not active on social media and have no way of seeing the information themselves, would I cater the events to the parents and guardians of the youth?
Yes. So again, sort of following up on what I just said, like, you want to cater to the person making the purchasing decision. So whether it's actually they're purchasing something with money or they're just deciding to go and attend, you want to make sure that your marketing and your experience are catered to them with the youth in mind, I think, right? Because it's like, it's the parents that are going to be the ones who are saying, yeah, we're going to make time for this. We're going to get in the car. We're going to go here, or we're going to attend virtually. I think there's some element to say, like, a kid has a choice depending on how old the youth are, right? Like, if it's someone between the ages of 14 and 18, first of all, they are on social media, but second of all, like, they have some influence over their parents to say, hey, I want to do this. So I think that's when you can target both audiences. But I would think about really 75, 80% targeted at the parents, since it sounds like your youth that you're working with is probably a little bit younger, so they need their parents to attend.
So good. And I'm glad someone asked that question. Great one, China, because I think about that often, right? Like I wonder to myself a lot whether Black women entrepreneurs understand what to do around Christmas time if they're selling toys. Because we actually see the big folks do it very well. Like, literally around the holidays, they crank it up in the marketing, right? And I wonder whether we unpack that enough. Like, how? Like, what are they showing to the kids versus what they're showing to the mommy, right? Like, when do they show the tired mom, get this for your kid and they'll be quiet? Like, it's so many, the persona, yeah. So I'm happy you're in the room, and I'm happy somebody asked that question. Beautiful. All right, Ursula, I'm going to show your question on stage, but you might need to raise your hand. Just hit the right hand button for more context, just in case Andrea needs more context. But the question asks, have you ever designed an event considering the host or hosts or even administrators as the user?
Yeah, I would love more context if that's
okay.
If you're here, Ursula.
Yeah. Ursula, if you can hit the hand button, I can bring you on stage. If you want to give more context, I don't see. Okay, I see her hand now. All right, so let me move that. Ursula, you have the mic now.
So when you're talking about designing an event, experience, like an experience design, it's not, and it's like a final product. It's an experience for the participants or attendees, but it's also an experience for the people hosting it or administering it. So
what kind of product are you talking about, Ursula? I think that might be helpful.
For example, the whole, because there's a whole experience with administering events or whatever, like I don't know, like for people who have to host and administer events, like how difficult it is for them to put on the show, like everything from intake to logistics, you know, what tools do they have available, whether it's paper tools, maybe paper applications, maybe those tools are digital, these are digital forms, or maybe it's a interactive digital form. You know, what
so
part
you mean more like have I ever designed an event for other event hosts or administrators?
Right.
Gotcha. So I have not. I have led event teams in my corporate life. So I've trained like event coordinators to come on, but I haven't hosted an event like that. Great business idea. Thank you. Maybe I will. But I think it's a really interesting point, right? Because as event professionals, like, it's really important for us to trade knowledge and for us to share resources and for us to say, hey, I tested this thing out and it didn't work, or I tested this out and it did work. I'm a part of a lot of different communities, online communities with event professionals. And so that's where, frankly, I get a lot of my knowledge share in regards to, here's this new tool, or like when AirMeet came out, I remember people were talking about AirMeet versus like, why would I use AirMeet versus Hopin, for example. And so finding those communities has been really helpful to me. I personally haven't hosted something for that community, but I definitely like see the value. And if you want to DM me on LinkedIn or on the side or whatever, I'm happy to share some of those communities if you are an event host yourself.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ursula. I agree. Such a good question. And I will say, somebody in the market that does this very, very well, what Ursula is talking about, is AirMeet. Like, they do not send an event for the sake of sending an event. And I actually attend their events, and they're not targeting my audience. They're targeting me. It's very deep, right? And during those sessions, I mean, it is people from around the entire world, and they show us the new tools. They show us spatial audio and literally show how our audience members can move around the space and be close together and hear each other very well, be far apart. We used it last summer for the summer 2022, and it was a hit, but only because I attended the event. Because for them, they don't wait for you to know a new button to click, right? They showed us how to integrate Typeform. Y'all experienced that on Friday, but yeah, nobody else in the market today, like Zoom does not do that for me, right? Like Kajabi doesn't do that for me. I don't use Kajabi, but you know,
I think there's a lot of event tools out there that are doing basically educational webinars like that. Yeah. So sometimes, like for Asana, for example, I get emails that say, check out our new products or our new product applications or whatever. And I'll watch their like 2-minute video, but I don't really get it. But if I attend an event where someone's showing it to me and explaining it, it's so much better.
Yeah. And even, okay, I'm gonna be quiet after this, but even for you as a, you know, you're talking about noodle on this idea, like AirMeet actually has a 24/7, literally a 24/7 AirMeet that exists, where during any of our events, if we want to hop in and sit at a lounge table with them and get real-time help, they will answer the question, we can hop back in. Oh, it's an experience. So yeah, it's crazy. Okay. Okay, I see another question. This will be we might be able to get 2 more in actually. So this one is from Christina, and she asks, how do you remain authentic but still diversify your audience / customer more effectively or effectively?
Yeah, so I love this question because I like pride myself on remaining authentic and not sort of bending in order to get audience or to gain. Like, we live in such a capitalistic society. I'm like, I'm gonna still be myself, even though if I change myself, I would get more dollars, right? And so I think it's really important to decide who you are in business and who your audience is. Like, are you someone who wants to remain authentic no matter what, even if it's at the cost of customers or product sales? And if you're not that person, that's fine too, right? Like, again, capitalistic society, we got to do what we got to do. We got bills to pay. And then additionally, who is your audience? So I had this conversation with someone recently. One of my clients is launching a professional development group for women. And she brought me on Firewood Events to host their launch event. One of the first conversations I had was, okay, I know you're a Black woman. I know all of the photos you've posted have been of Black women, but nowhere on your website or nowhere in your marketing does it say that this group is just for Black women. And so is this group for Black women, or is it for everyone? And she kind of had to pause and think about it and mull it over and get back to me, and eventually came back and she was like, as much as I would love for it to be for all women, because it increases basically the amount of money I can make, I really feel passionate about Black women, so I'm going to narrow down the focus. And so with that, I give you that example to say, like, I think it's really important for you to understand what diversify your audience means. Like, what is diverse in the context of your personal business, because it means something different to everybody. And in that case, like, my client was able to remain authentic to herself, to say, I could help more people, but I really want to narrow the focus. And so I challenge you to ask yourself questions in order to answer that question.
Ashe. So good. I see a lot of wows in the chat. Thank you so much, Andrea. And I'm glad you said everything, but I'm glad you said that point too. Like, literally was in a pitch competition, I think 3 weeks ago. And the folks asked me that, and that was the last one. Like, this is so good. Would you ever expand beyond Black women? Like, and they said to get more revenue and more market share. And I said, absolutely not. Knowing good and well that if they didn't like that answer, I wouldn't get didn't get it. Now we won. We got it. We got the funding. We got the cohort, whatever, right? But you're right. Had I not asked myself those controversial questions first, I would have lied. Like, well, no, yeah, we're inclusive. Women of color. So good.
And I mean, I have the same, one quick anecdote. I had the same challenge when I made my swag business with Kelly, actually. So Swag by Asayo. Yeah. When we were starting, we were very specifically, we want to only have Black and Latinx owned product in our boxes. Like, that was really important to us. And then we had a client who came to us and said, hey, we actually want to add some indigenous, some products from Native people. Are you open to that? And we had to have a conversation and say, okay, is this aligned with our business goals and our mission? Is it not? We're like, this is good. We're in for this, right? Like, this is solid. And then we had another client who came to us and said, hey, we want to add this Asian woman-owned product into our business. And we're like, okay, we have to have this conversation again. And so I think it's important to also reiterate that it's not just a one-time decision. Like, you're probably going to be faced with many challenges and many just like bumps in the road along the way to say, oh, is it still true? Or am I at a place where I want to change my mind a little bit or adjust?
So good. Someone in the chat said you are a well of info, and you absolutely are. Y'all definitely tap in with Firewood Events. Andrea, you are incredible. You are phenomenal. Sending love to both you and Kelly. Y'all are super dope. Doing the real work out there. So thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, and thanks for all the feedback, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. And everyone, remember to do the polls. Okay, remember to answer the polls that are in the event feed. To the right side, you'll see the poll section. If you are on the mobile app, remember that is on your events tab in the middle of your mobile app and on the right side, okay? Definitely give our speakers feedback. We share all of this feedback with them so they can see their ratings so that they can continue, right, to frame their knowledge in ways that edify the audience. Now, we are about to blitz into a couple of things, so I need y'all to be ready. We're going into a Blaze talk called From Surviving to Thriving, okay? From Surviving to Thriving from Monet Quarles. And then we're going into another DJ set for today. The first one of today, DJ Red Corvette is going to be on the ones and twos. She is from the Bay Area, but living in Brooklyn right now. And then we're going to go into, be ready for this, the AI talk, okay? It is called Hire a Tool, Chat GPT and Friends. If you have been wondering, we have a whole panel of folk. They're going to break down these concepts around AI, okay? So that's the order of events. I will see you in the next session. This is a Blaze talk from Surviving to Thriving, and then we're going to hit the DJ set. See y'all in a second.
Crypto Duchess, and it is a true pleasure to be in front of you today to discuss the topic of AI technology, especially when it comes to the Black entrepreneurial community, and in particular for us women. So I just wanted to give you some of my insight and knowledge from building a six-figure brand over the last 3 years. So before I do that, the topic of discussion today is From Surviving to Thriving, how you can future-proof your business during a recession. So just a quick story time here. AI technology has been around for quite a long time. And be completely transparent with you. I recall a meeting with my sister. I like to call her my sister, but she is one of my closest friends, Tanika Renee. We were sitting in a coffee shop in New Jersey, and we were having a content strategy session. And I was telling Tanika about this amazing app. And, I was like, hey, girl, listen, I know that you like writing. I know that you're doing all of this work with these different companies. How about I show you some of the tips that I've been using? And this was like about 3 years ago, like when I first started my brand. I told her, check out Jasper, because this is an amazing tool for you to use during when you're creating content. So I showed her how Jasper works, and we had this conversation around writing in AI. And she was just so intrigued, but it wasn't something that connected with her at the time because the topic of discussion was so new. So fast forward to this year, recently, she just wrote an amazing article on The Information, which is an online syndication. And she published an article about marketing and AI, and she gave me a shout out. So what I would say for me is that AI technology has been a part of my life for quite a long time. And right now, we are living in such a dynamic time, and technology is ever evolving and ever changing in this day and age. And currently, we are in a recession. So I want to just instill some of my knowledge upon you all so that you ladies can build your brand the way that you like to build your brand and take all of the stress out of your life from doing so as well. So I'll tell you a little bit of background about my business and how I got started and how I'm doing now using AI technology. So I started my brand a couple of years ago, like I said, back in 2018, 2019. I left this country for a little while because I was in crypto. So I hit it pretty big, went to London, and I started the name The Crypto Duchess. I actually took that name on because I was living in the UK. So after that, I came back and I started educating people on cryptocurrency. And then from there, I started Duchess Consulting LLC. Now, my brand, I work with companies, so Fortune 500 to Fortune 100 corporations, and helping them with their marketing and business strategy within the Web3 space and blockchain industry. So a lot of the work and heavy lifting that I do is pertaining to strategy, data analytics, and project and product management. It is tremendous tasks that have to be done, and it takes a lot of work for just one person because I am just one person. I had a virtual assistant before, but I'm a little bit picky, I must admit. But a lot of work that has to be done when managing large scale contracts. The largest contract that I ever had just finished recently, that was a 6-figure contract. It was upward close to 200K or more. So from there, I realized as I was scaling my business, once I created Duchess Consulting, that I needed help. I was like, I was just getting started off with, doing corporate consulting back in 2019, 2020, around that time. And I was like, you know what? I am still building. I need help with creating these tasks and doing and just helping to push forward my business. So all of the information that I had told Tanika, just referring back to the story that I just gave you guys, the anecdote there, I decided to take that and run with it. So one of the first tools that I used was Jasper. And Jasper is an amazing AI writing tool that is used to create marketing copy. Well, you could create any kind of writing copy. So I created my first crypto ebook using Jasper. I've created copy for my websites. I've even written large scale speeches, helping, like, just actually creating paragraphs and writing those out and being able to tweak them using AI. And let me tell you something, ladies. I know that a lot of you are afraid of using AI technology, but one thing about AI is that it does need a human touch. It is something that you can't just put it and set it and forget it. You have to tweak it in a way where it responds to what you're looking for. So I had to learn how to write prompts. And Jasper was one of the first AI technologies that I used to write prompts with. And it tremendously cut down writing, my writing time, my copy time, because my business is in business, marketing, and consulting and tech. So I needed a lot of that time, and it just helped tremendously. So from there, what I will say is that the next tool that I use to help scale my business to a 6-figure business is the tool called Descript. Now, Descript is an audio tool, and I actually enjoy this tool the most. Another fun fact about me as well, and I would recommend any of you ladies do this as well with your business: start a podcast. No, literally, start a podcast. No, seriously, ladies, like, start a podcast for your business. So my podcast is called Decentralized Convos with the Crypto Duchess, and I talk to different business owners on a regular basis every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and we discuss the real raw truths about cryptocurrency, NFTs, and just building in the blockchain space. So one of the tools that I used even prior to creating the podcast, just for audio purposes and video purposes, was Descript. Now, Descript helps take out all of the background noise, any like white noise or little noises that you don't want in your podcast or in your video recording, and also helps with the ums and ahs in your video. This is an AI technology tool. It only takes about 30 minutes to program it, because you do have to speak in order to program the actual software so that it could work for your benefit. The reason why you would want to use a program like this for your business is because, or even for a podcast at that, is because you are able to use the program to record your voice. And so you could type a whole script out using AI technology and use this platform or program to basically have your voice recorded in AI. So you don't have to say anything. All you have to do is literally put a script in and it does this thing. So I've used it in the past, especially for my podcast, and it has helped tremendously with cutting down time. And let me tell you, again, it's nothing to be afraid of. It may seem like, oh my gosh, AI technology is taking over. But if you utilize these tools properly, I promise you things will become easier in your life and in your business. So I just wanted to let you ladies know about a couple of other tools that are out there that I've been using, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of them before. There's a couple that have been circulating around during the summit. So let me just tell you about my experience with them. So one of them is ChatGPT. And I don't even need to get into detail about this. I'm pretty sure everyone has been listening to Instagram Reels and TikToks about ChatGPT, but let me tell you about ChatGPT here. This tool is a lifesaver for those who are looking for ideas for their businesses, looking to reduce time in terms of writing content. Also, just in general, just research and development, or even asking questions for your business. So I've used this tool for various reasons. So ChatGPT has been a lifesaver for my business because I've used it to do additional research for different clients and different projects that I've been working on. And it's helped reduce my time. My time is important. Your time is important. So actually having tools available to you to allow you to free your time so that you can generate more revenue for yourself is one of the best things that you can do as a business owner. So I've used ChatGPT to conduct research for clients. I've used it to write marketing copy for my different scripts that I've used in order to generate leads for clients. I've used this beautiful platform to generate leads for my business, Duchess Consulting, in order for me to generate more revenue. And also just asking questions, like just different things. Like when I was looking for business funding, I actually went on there and asked a question about business funding. You could do pretty much anything with ChatGPT, depending on what vertical you're in as well. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of it and learn the prompts. That's another thing. I keep emphasizing the usage of prompt engineering. You want to learn how to write the best prompts for these programs, because if you don't, you are going to shoot yourself in the foot. And I don't want that for you ladies, because these different tools that are given to us that we're being blessed with can have a true impact on your money, your pockets, and your business, your vision, your legacy. So utilize it to your advantage here. So that's another one, ChatGPT. Let's get into OpenAI. Now, this is one of my favorites. And just a tiny bit of a background here. Let's go backtrack a little bit back into Monet's vault of memories. I come from the tech space. I don't know if you ladies pick up on that. I come from a very heavy tech background, working in cybersecurity and telecom and managed services for over a decade prior to me getting into my entrepreneurial journey, right? So I already have this sort of aptitude in a sense, not to say that it can't be developed or trained. It's all about the discipline and your mindset, to be honest with you. But with OpenAI, so this is basically like ChatGPT on autopilot. It is one of the best programs that you can set up for yourself. So if you ladies have a background in software development, or if you have a friend or a spouse or a boyfriend who can do it for you, or you can even hire someone on Fiverr to do it for you, I would highly recommend you get OpenAI set up. So I actually programmed it onto my computer, and I use this as a virtual assistant, a free virtual assistant for my business, because I was tired of working with, I actually had a virtual assistant before, but I was tired of working with one of the girls that I hired, because my business is very specific and you have to have industry knowledge in the blockchain space. So I was having some difficulty with that. And I was like, how am I going to hire someone and still be able to run my business? I had a ton of tasks that need to be done, tremendous demands from this previous client that I was working with, and I was under a lot of stress and pressure with deadlines. So what I did was I programmed OpenAI, and from there, I had it doing everything on autopilot for me. So just all of the research for data sets that I needed, because again, I come from that data science and tech background. So I was having this program running on autopilot for like 24/7. My computer was literally hot for weeks. I still have it running right now for another reason, because I do content writing as well for a decentralized media company. But yes, my computer was hot, ladies. So let me tell you, OpenAI, if you have the opportunity to check it out, I would highly recommend that you utilize this program and just, and if you can't utilize it, that's completely fine, but just at least look into it and see if it's a fit for you. I'm not saying that all of these tools are going to be of help to you, but I'm just letting you know this is how I was able to complete my tasks, especially with the demands of different corporate contracts that I was acquiring and procuring. So it was a tremendous help. It reduced a lot of time for me. And, data is king. Well, data is queen. And your time is precious. So why not be able to free up some time with some tools, especially if some of them are free? I will say that ChatGPT, if you're looking to get into that, they have the free subscription and they also have a paid subscription for about $20 a month. Since I use OpenAI, I don't use the paid subscription. It's kind of a workaround. So, that's just something that I want to say to you ladies as well. Just figure out what works for you and go from there, And what I will say about my business, my story is being written. I think I said this already. My story is being written. My journey is being written. I have not hit the $1 million mark yet. I'm still here. I'm here in the trenches with you all as well. And it is a daily struggle to show up, and especially as a Black woman owned business, to show up and to actually perform tasks and then come home and take care of your household. If you have children, taking care of the kids, taking care of your husband, making sure that you show up for yourself, self-care. Why not utilize certain AI technology tools to free up time so that you can enjoy your life more, but also so that you can generate more revenue for yourself? Even with tools like OpenAI, there are ways that you can basically have this program run itself for you. You put in the prompt and it does its thing, and then it produces results for you, right? Why not utilize this tool as well to figure out other revenue streams for your business? I have one more tool that I want to give you as well. This is a bonus. And this is actually a new tool as well. So BossGPT. This is a fun one. I actually just started using it. And I will say that I have been able to generate some revenue by utilizing this tool. So the last one, BossGPT, it's the name itself. I mean, hey, you take a guess. You can basically hire people. You can hire people, AI people, employees. It's like mind-boggling, right? So I discovered this tool as I was looking on YouTube. I do a lot of research, YouTube, TikTok, and I wanted to figure out a way to generate additional leads for the business and help with just expansion, because I'm not necessarily ready to hire a team yet. I will be in the next couple of months actually, but not today. So what I did was I went online and I found this amazing website. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is super dope. They give you free credits to try it out, and you can choose between, they have a sales expert, they have a lead generation specialist, marketing manager, accounting manager, just a finance manager, you name it, they have it on there. I would highly recommend that you ladies check out BossGPT. It's still being developed, so it's not completely there yet. But what I will say is that you can ask questions to these different experts that are available on the platform, and it will give you information pertaining to your marketing, your finances for your business, how to generate additional leads, how to create a marketing campaign, a specific marketing strategy and campaign for your business as well. This has been a tremendous help because for me, I am branching out into a new realm within my business. I actually want to start doing subcontracting, and I have my business registered for that as well. And I want to work with small and medium-sized businesses again to help them with their business strategies, because corporate contracts are great, but let's face it, corporate can be very hard to work with. It doesn't matter if you work with them directly or if you're working with them as a vendor. It can be very stressful. So this platform, Boss GBT, has helped me tremendously. Again, time is gold. Okay, time is money. So with me building my business and segueing into this new market and new target audience, it has helped to develop new strategies for me. So I will leave you with this piece of wisdom, ladies. Do not be afraid of new technology. If you ever need help, you can find me online. My Instagram is at the Crypto Duchess or at Monet Q. And I want you ladies to get familiarized with these tools that I gave you today. Look into them. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well. I have availability. If you just want to do a quick chat just to discuss, hey, well, prompt engineering, how would that work for me? And, how can I develop this strategy better so that I can automate my task with OpenAI? Let me know. I'm here for you. God bless you. I love you all, and take care of yourself, okay? Just remember, data is queen, and also time is money. Let's get it.
Yeah. The chat is on fire. I mean, you got the Gen Xers lit up in the chat, Monet. Now, you got the Gen Xers lit up. They're ready for it now. Hey, mama. How are you today?
Girl, I'm doing so much better. So I'll just be transparent here. I had a lot of shit going on, man. Let me tell you. So with scaling my business and making all of this money, these strides, living in this gorgeous penthouse apartment at this point in life, I went through a lot of changes and stuff. And here's why I say, yeah, AI is cool and all, but you still need a human touch. I did too much too soon, and I made too much too soon, and I essentially burnt myself out. So that was what was going on. I was going through a mental break.
Talk about it.
Look,
listen.
Honestly, I write on my wall now. That's how crazy.
Talk about it.
Nuts.
Yeah. That's important transparency, Monet, right? Like how we scale, like growth and scale are two different things. Like growth without scale is like more time, more money, like more exhaustion, more, So
yeah,
we appreciate you, sis. You growing in plain sight, and you bringing us with you always. This is the third time Monet's been on this stage, y'all. So we literally have seen her climb for real, and she's always a book with us. All right, you got a lot of questions. You know that. You already know that. So it's a lot of hands raised. It's a lot of hands raised. I'm gonna start with y'all try to be efficient now. You know I love you now, but you got the DJ set starting in 10 minutes. So in 4 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay. Crystal, I'm bringing you up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I see my little green dots. Okay, the quick question really is all of these options, right? I'm like, she gave more than 3. I said, oh, there's another one. So with all of these options, it can get really overwhelming trying to figure out how to step in when it's all new. So what would your suggestion be for anyone who is willing to like try this out, but kind of like which way to go and what's the best way to start out as opposed to trying to do all of it at the same time?
So that's my thing. My neurodivergent ass, I'll do everything. Okay. My best bet for you, like, and this is what I'm just reading in terms of energy, you're gonna want to start with ChatGPT, because it's the easiest way to get started in AI. You just type prompts and boom. But remember, know your prompts. study the prompts, Google prompts, make sure that you're putting in the information. Don't just make it like really basic. You need to make it very robust so that the AI can process the information and give you what you want. That is the easiest way to get started in AI tech.
Got it. Thank you. I have been playing around with ChatGPT, so I can agree that for me, not knowing anything else, that was a great starting point. So I would suggest that for everyone else as well. The next place I'm going to definitely jump into is the Descript and see what that looks like.
Good. Excellent.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you for your question. All right. So I am going to now flip it over to Tatiana. You have the mic.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to say, as someone who's on the spectrum, I really appreciate these tools. I feel like that's been a big hurdle for me, is trying to figure out the relatability and how to word certain things, because I have a lot to say, but it's not necessarily concise enough to be able to get my point across. So I just wanted to say thank you. I didn't realize these tools were out here, so I appreciate you.
Oh, yes, absolutely, sis. I'm neurodivergent, but more so on the it's like within the wheelhouse, but not.
Yeah.
You understand where
It's
I'm
all
coming
in
from
there.
because
Yeah.
of the way I speak. But yes, get to it, sis. You got this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got it. Thank you, Tatiana. All right, beautiful. And I love, man, so a Gen Zer in the chat, Monet said, a Gen Zer here, a Gen Xer here, and I love this. Like, you amazing, you know that, but like the diversity, even talking about being on the spectrum, etc., right? I appreciate you humanizing the revolution. It's so important. I'm gonna flip another question on the stage because they are important. Okay, so this one also on stage, this is from Paula Ralph Burkett, and she asks, how do you find or create great prompts for AI?
I like going on LinkedIn for those prompts. They have some really good people to follow. What I could do is I might come back, or if you guys want to hit me up and just check, hit me up and remind me, I'll actually, send you the people that I use for prompts, or I make up my own prompts. It's just a matter of training it, because it's like you're having a conversation with a person. So if you tell the person enough detail, they'll be able to give you enough detail. So it's all about training.
I say. And this one is from Chanel. This will be our last one, y'all. Chanel asks, how do you access ChatGPT?
Very easily. OpenAI.com. You create your username, password, and then you're in there. They have the free option, and then they also have a $20 a month option, I believe. I'm like, like I said, I'm a little bit more cost effective and frugal, so I haven't delved into that. But you can, use it for like pictures, like if you need to generate an AI picture or what have you. Super dope tool. But yeah, real simple. You can use it for free. Why not?
Okay. And then just because I'm actually very proud to see so many people engaged in this, I'm going to bring the last person to the stage, Monet, because I want people to take up space. This is beautiful Black woman. Like, this is beautiful that y'all are leaning in this heavy. Christina King, the mic is yours.
Hello, ladies. I'm going to keep this very, very quick. Monet, hats off to you. As a mid-level climbing my way up prompt engineer, what would you suggest the route I take if I wanted to kind of put myself out there to, maybe take on a couple of clients, or, what I mean, try to delve into that world? Right now I do AI art specifically, but I do know how to write prompts as well. Like I've taken the steps to learn how to prompt write too.
So you want to talk about money?
I want to talk
okay,
about.
I like that.
I want to
like
talk
that
about
shit.
money.
Oh, okay. So here's how we do this. This is how we're gonna run this play. You're gonna create a portfolio with all of your work. You want to make sure that you create a very nice portfolio, and then if you have any clients, create testimonials along with that portfolio. You're going to create an online portfolio. You information on Fiverr, on your website, LinkedIn, put a blast out on LinkedIn. What's that other website? I'm sorry, my brain is like all of the freelancer websites you can think of, post on there and then start gaining clients. And what I started doing, like when I was first getting started, I offered like a trial run, like $200 a month for 3 months just to test out my services. That's when I first got started years ago. And now my rates are like, I don't post my rates anymore.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay. Yeah, now that's money talking. Okay, thank you. Yeah, like my little icon image, that's like one of my first creations. So yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right,
Thank you,
ladies.
Kristen.
you're welcome.
Uh-huh.
All right, beautiful. You all, Monet is incredible. So she meant what she said. Definitely DM her in the people tab. Like her name is there. Follow her for sure. She's accessible to the people for real. Monet, please share your social handles so folks can follow you.
Absolutely. I'm about to do that right now. So this is my, just hit me up on Instagram. I might shut off the Monet Q Instagram. I'm not going to hold you. I'm just over it.
You got all these impersonators.
It's too much going on, sis. Like, I'm over it. Yep. And then Crypto Duchess, boom. And if you guys also want me on Twitter, I will, hold on, Duchess. But yeah, I'll be around and stuff. I do mainly corporate contracts. I'm getting into government contracting. So I'm probably not going to be taking on like as many small and medium business clients anymore, but I'll be around. Like I might take some on if it, makes sense, if the money makes sense, because that's what, it's all about. But yeah, government contracting in blockchain. That's what I'm going. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you, my love. I always appreciate you, and you drop so many gems. Keep being a legend and get some rest, y'all. No, we're gonna keep talking about this.
We do. I gotta text you, girl.
Yeah. All right, love you.
Love you, ladies. Take care of yourself.
All right, y'all. We're going to the DJ set. Okay, it's gonna be back to back, so I won't talk to you for a little minute. Okay, so DJ Red Corvette is about to be spinning on the turntables. No Pilates today, so you get some rest. But Megan Donovan is back tomorrow, so get your mat, your water, and your towels for tomorrow. But DJ set for an hour, and then we're heading into a panel discussion that is called "Hire a Tool: Chat GPT and Friends." Okay, I'll see y'all in the next session. Love y'all, and I mean it. Bye.